I am live, right? I am live. Let's go live real quick. Really a little fatigued today. So I'm going to get right into it. Let's get right into the 5 minutes of fame, right? The countdown timer. As you come in, drop your city and state. Or if you don't want to do that, just simply say hello. Hello, right? I am, if you are new to my podcast and to my live stream, I am known in the credit world as the queen of credit because of the results that I get people in the credit world, right, to help them transition from bad to good credit, from good credit to great credit, and then revision their credit, right? Revision their credit to create more cash flow, to create more cash flow. So first person that I see in is IYBL. Hello to you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in the credit and the cash flow world. And as you all are coming in also on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up that notifies others that I am currently live and live streaming. And if you're on Facebook, right? Like and share. Like and share if you're on Facebook. And if you are tuning in on Periscope, right? On Periscope, make sure that you show some digital love. Hit those hearts, swipe right, and share with your followers as well. Jay says, hey, Queen, Inland Europe, California here. Inland Europe, California. Okay, hello. Jay, we have Nevada in the house from Facebook. Harold Smith from Nevada. Hello, my friend, to you as well. All right, we had 3 minutes and counting. Greetings to you as well from Austin, Texas. All right, greetings. Austin, Texas. Austin is a beautiful place in Texas. Greetings. Maryland, Frederick, Maryland is in the credit and cash flow room. Hello, Maryland. Hello, Maryland. Miss MJ is in the credit and cash flow room from the DMV. Hello, Miss MJ from the DMV. Make sure, again, YouTube, as you all are coming in, that you hit the thumbs up. Thank you, IYBL, says I hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate that. Good evening, Tiffany from Miami, Florida. Miami, Florida is in the house. And Humboldt, Texas is in the house as well, right? And let me get my articles. Inland, Jay says, Inland Empire, California. Never been there. Would love to go. Right? Where exactly is that? Is that adjacent to Los Angeles or near Los Angeles? Jay says, Inland Empire, California. How nice. Never been there. Must put that on my bucket list, right? To visit. Sounds like a wonderful place to go in Cali. Hello from Cincinnati, Ohio, right? Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the credit and cash flow room, right? Richmond, we have another California in. Richland, California. Richland, California is in the credit and cash flow room as well. Good evening to you. Also, we have 52 seconds and counting, right? Harold says, I know this is about your business, but my God, you're gorgeous. Thank you, Harold. I do appreciate that. Compliments coming from a king, a queen. I always love that. Okay, Jay says Inland Empire, California is about 40 miles from Los Angeles. Okay. Love to visit there one day. Nyla is in the credit and cash flow room from Miami, Florida. We have Tiffany and Nyla from Miami is in the room. IYBL says, the YouTube channel, How to Be a Credit TV, right? Okay, yes, I do catch some of his streams. I really don't focus on um, trying to implement or teach people about credit cards per se, right? I love credit cards. They are I call them my investors, but I don't focus on much about credit cards as much as how to build credit TV. And I know they have a broader spectrum as well, all right? Okay, so let's get into the topic. I want to start with I was so elated, excited when I saw this article, right? 19 families acquire 90 acres of land, right, outside of Georgia to create a safe haven for Black people. So that's the first article I want to start with. Then we will get into the second stimulus, as well as if you are one of the government employees who cannot, right, who cannot opt out of the payroll tax by President Trump, what do you do and how you will see a big deduction in your paycheck come January of 2021. So these are the three topics that I will discuss. So let's get right into this one. 19 families acquire 90 acres of land to create a safe haven for Black people. What a wonderful, wonderful thing, right? Uh, Black dollars, Black money is power, right? He who holds the land holds the wealth. So they're creating a safe haven. It's a great thing to do in these economic times. Ashley Scott, as they say, like many Black Americans, felt the distraught after witnessing the deaths of multiple unarmed Black civilians, right? Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. And so it says by police officers and white vigilance. And so, as a protest and reform, they decided to take a different approach. This is a great thing, right? I've been telling people that Black economics, right, when pulled together, will stop a lot of this racial injustice and killings and murders, right? And also, I want to bring this out to you all as well, that if a lot of African Americans, right, had life insurance policies in place, right, and these unjust killings and murders had to be paid out by the police department, a lot of these killings and murders and injustice would stop, right? He who holds the money holds the power and holds the answers, especially to racism, right? Especially to racism. If you want to stop racism, then begin empowerment financial moves like this. So, as the article reads, we are dealing with systematic racism. We are dealing with deep rooted issues that will require more than protesting in the streets. It will take us as a people, right, and minorities, as Atlanta rapper and activist Killer Mike so eloquently put, to plot, plan, right? Plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. This is also a quote from Malcolm X as well. So to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize, right? And mobilize. So Scott purchased 96.71 acres of land in Georgia, Toomsboro, Georgia. I think Toomsboro, Georgia. Hope I pronounced pronounced that correctly, for a new initiative, have 19 Black families create self-sustaining community after attending several local city council meetings and learn about local zoning laws, right? And so after they learned about the local zoning laws, it motivated them to take a deeper look into local politicians and how cities are created. And they brought together a cityhood to change their community and to build real Black power, right? Real Black power. So this is a great thing. It really reminds me of the Black Wall Street movement, and with Labor Day approaching, right? It's a or Labor Day has come and gone, right? It's not approaching. I'm sorry. Is has come and gone. A lot of that has to do or in Tulsa, Oklahoma, about the devastation of the Black Wall Street, right? So this is somewhat of reminding me of that concept, right? You're exactly correct, Curtis. Power economics, the foundation of Black business, right? Uh, Living with Sim Water says land in California is like, oh, that's wonderful. Yes, with my home-based business, we have investing opportunities out of Antelope, California as well. Warren Buffett and NASA, and the Olympics is also investing in Antelope, California, and that's also one of the four pillars of wealth opportunities within my home-based business. So, Curtis, you're absolutely correct. It's time to power economics has to be foundation, right? Because I think, let me see, let me read the numbers so I can be accurate, as accurate as I can, and not thinking. Um, it's about 42% of Black businesses as of right now due to the impact of this health pandemic, right? Stating that 42% of Black businesses, small Black businesses, and African Americans are out of jobs, right? So they have been hit the hardest. In fact, it took 10 years for African American employment, right, to reach a prime age workers, which is between the ages of 25 and 54, to go from 66 to 76%, right? And these gains will be totally lost, totally evaporated. And I also expect Black unemployment or to peak, maybe the unemployment rate for Blacks, right, to peak at 30 to about 42%. And when you compare these rates to Hispanic workers who are currently at 22 and 41%, right, that's a big peak. Again, Black unemployment rate will average at 30 to 42%. And then when comparison to Hispanic, another minority group, which is at 22 to 41%, right? And so it's just the ups and downs of the business cycle, the racial gaps in the labor market, right? And real incomes fall more quickly, right, for Blacks and or African Americans than any minority group, right? And so we, as minority Blacks, have a real issue here that we're facing in this economic uncertainty or recession that we're currently entering, right? So just a little information to share with you as well. Black Wall Street, the devastation of it. But I love this is what the families are doing in Georgia, mimicking that. And that's why I always come before you faithfully about getting your credit in position so you can get capital, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma, an affluent African American community, right? Threat as white dominated American capitalism in 1921 destroyed Black Wall Street. It's a massacre, right, or referred to as a massacre. Um, and so 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as Black Wall Street, one of the most prosperous African American communities in the United States. But on May 31st of 1921, right, um, whites in the area refused to wait, and unprecedented racial violence that was out. What's the word? A black man was reported for raping a white woman, right? So whites in the area, or allegedly, that's the word I was thinking of, raped the white woman, and whites in the area refused. They protested, right? Pretty much protest. This is the word. African Americans are not the only ones that protest, right? And so the white lady's name was Sarah Page. The black man's name was Dick Rowland. And so 35 city blocks went up in flames. 300 people died and 800 were injured, right, in defense of a white female that expressed a motivation of racial violence. And so this is how Black Wall Street went down, right? The deaths, the prosperity of it, 1921. So this is some pictures of what that looked like. These African Americans' economic status could not save them, however, from racial hostility of that day. But it was a beautiful thing, and this closely reminds me with the 90 plus acres of land in Georgia, something similar to that in this time. So I love that, right? And Curtis says, you cannot build wealth without capital and credit. You're absolutely correct. And why is that, right? Why can't you build wealth without capital and credit? Because when money or cash is printed, right? Cash is printed through a debt system. If you look on any cash that you hold, it reads or it states that this note is a legal tender for all debt. So debt is cash. And if you cannot get a hold of debt, right, to invest in real assets, you will never be able to become richer and eventually wealthy, right? Because, as I have in my background chart, investors use debt, right? The bank's money, and they use it at 0% interest to invest. Meaning they pay, well, not 0% interest, right? My credit card is 0% interest, but they use it at little to no interest in order to get higher rates of return on the assets. However, the big thing, or the power in it, is that debt is not taxed, right? A lot of the poor working middle class or the financially uneducated think that taxes is their biggest stealer of wealth. That interest rates are their biggest stealers of wealth. That's your second biggest stealer of wealth. Your first biggest stealer of wealth is taxes, right? And so when you borrow from the banks and use the bank's money to invest and not your cash money, right? Not your labor money, you are not taxed on that loan. And also you get tax write-offs, right? You get tax write-offs. So just want to bring it out. Thank you, Jesus. He's welcome everyone in. Curtis says, a well-run small business allows people to retain wealth. That's true. You have to have Most people don't know the difference between cash flow and income, right? Income comes in form of a paycheck that's highly taxed. Cash flow comes in forms of business income, and it could be earned passively and residually, right? Um, and it is taxed less, right? Also, you get paid first from passive income and residual income, and you get taxed last, meaning you file taxes on that income at the end of the year. Unlike a paycheck in which you get taxed first and get paid second, then you file taxes again for it at the end of the year. So you get taxed twice through a paycheck, right? Your state, your federal taxes, your Social Security, Medicare comes out first, and then you get the leftovers, right? You get the leftovers, the crumbs that fall from the table. Then at the end of the year, you have to file taxes on the income. Then you get taxed again. You get double tax, right? And so if you don't find a way to keep more of the money that you are laboring for, that you're working for, then you will be working for the rest of your life. And obtaining financial freedom can never be acquired, right? So let's look at the next topic of discussion. Second stimulus check could be a long shot, right? In other words, it may or may not happen. So this is what happens, right? Um, or this is the latest news on the second stimulus. Give me 1 second. All right, second $1,200 stimulus checks. I had a bipartisan support. Now there could be a long shot. This is today article released at 3:52 Eastern Standard Time. A second round of $1,200 stimulus checks was one form of aid both sides of the aisle and Congress could agree on, or they did agree on, right? Yet Congress remained stalemated on other relief issues, and those payments could get sidelined, right? At least for now, right? Americans' financial needs could force politicians to go back to the negotiating table, right? So many experts, and myself included, feel like the demand for an additional aid continues to grow, but as of right now, it could be sidelined, bipartisan. So I just want to give you all the most up-to-date article or news release on that. The negotiation of the next stimulus bills had carried on for months, right? Democrats, Republicans, and President Trump all have backed, or they were in support of sending out a second round $1,200 stimulus, but now it's not certain if that will go out after all. So the Republicans, right, want to vote on a $500 billion bill as early as next week. Their plan includes aids for small businesses and will provide $300 a week in unemployment insurance benefits. However, another second round of stimulus checks, which would cost like approximately $300 billion, are not in the proposal for next week's voting. So as of right now, it's not in the proposal, and so unclear if this would even happen the second time around. But I will tell you this: the first stimulus, or in other words, I'm not getting good vibrations that it will happen, but hopefully it will. It may, it will come a little late, but it's better to come late than never, right? So unless something was to break and pressure really builds up, it's going to be extremely difficult as they think to really find the money for this package. I will inform you all of that, of this. The first, right? The first um, stimulus will cause an increase in taxes in 2021, right? Somebody has to pay the government back, and it's going to be people who earn their income as an employee or a specialist or sole proprietor or a independent contractor, doctors, lawyers, six-figure income earners, et cetera, and any employees, right? So let me read some comments. Taxes, interest, inflation eat your money all the time. Inflation is the increased pricing of goods and services on your everyday products and purchases that you make. So they do eat at your money all the time. And when you have all of those parasites eating at your money, right, and you don't make any financial changes or adjustments, right, you will never escape the rat race, never attain financial freedom, and always want the government or to put somebody in the White House to bail you out when you need to get a financial education and apply it in your house. Stop looking for the government to save you. Save yourself. Get a financial education. Trump has not paid tax in 40 years and filed bankruptcy 6 times to avoid paying taxes. That he's a millionaire with Gotham Hotels properties in 20. Yes, that's very smart of him. Very smart of him. Why not use the laws of the land in place? And he does this because he understands. See, the rich and wealthy, one thing that they always understand is you have to have business and business tax deductions, right? Nothing wrong with him not paying taxes, because even if he released his taxes to the general public, many people wouldn't understand it anyway, right? Many people wouldn't understand it anyway. He's a businessman. When President Trump was elected, instead of complaining about his assets and him being a billionaire, he's not a millionaire. If he is maybe his net worth dropped. Last I looked, he was a billionaire. Instead of complaining about that, learn the rules of the game, right? And stop being sidelined. Stop whining, stop complaining, and shift your paycheck and learn that a lot of these jobs that we're losing are never coming back. And you can't remain, right, the same way in a changing economy, right? It is, Trump was right, it is a hoax. Let me tell you something. I had someone told me today whose father-in-law, right, is a certified doctor, that they took, the doctor took 7 test kits, right, dipped it in water, and all of them came back positive. What's really hurting people is people that's overweight, obese, have asthma, diabetes, any previous health issues, and the radiation release through Wi-Fi and 5G now make contact with their bodies, and they already have weak immunity, and they don't have anything in place to build their immune systems, or they're not making any lifestyle changes as far as exercise, changing their eating habits, and taking supplements to build their immunity against strong radiation waves through the newly developed Wi-Fi that's replacing a lot of people's jobs, right? Which is artificial intelligence. So for the people, I know Easy came on my live stream once and said he was going to watch some television show. So for people that listen to the news and media and those talking heads on the tubes, then they really do believe that this is what's going on. But for people that read and research, they know the truth about it. You can say whatever you want to about Trump, right? I know he believes in white supremacy. I don't agree with that. but he's been calling this the invisible enemy, and it is what it is. Everybody knows when the king of bankruptcy takes office, he bankrupts the United States, then you learn to play the rules of the game because it's not going to change. What has to change is you. The game, the rules are here to stay, right? So you learn to change, or then you're going to be a product of a changing economy, and you're going to get the tail end of the stick, right? And be one of those people that's complaining, but yet still struggling financially, right? Trading options says, I don't know anyone with it either. And even if I did, right, being sit home, if it's so deadly, right, if it's so deadly, then why being isolated for 14 days is curing people? Because it's 94% recovery rate, right? I mean, 99%, I'm sorry, recovery rate. 94% of the deaths were people that already had pre-existing health issues, right? Just think about this, right? I call it common sense. I don't know what other people call it. I don't know if it's happening in other states, but a restaurant, right, will require you to enter in with a mask only to sit down at their table, remove the mask, and eat for 30 minutes or an hour, how long it's going to take you to eat and drink. And you're sitting in that environment for 30 minutes to an hour without a mask, eating and drinking, right? But they're telling you a mask is what's preventing this. Well, if it's preventing this, then you mean to tell me that just stepping over the threshold of a door is preventing this, right? But I can sit there for 30 minutes to an hour without it and be perfectly fine. These things makes no common sense to me, right? People that have to wear them at work. You go to work, you wear them at work. When you leave work and you go home, hope you don't sleep in it, you sleep in the mask, right? You go home, you remove the mask, you are still breathing in oxygen, right? You go outside, go in your vehicle. If anything's contaminated, it can go through the walls of your house and apartment, right? And then my thing is, if masks stop airborne viruses that are flu-like symptoms, then when next month, October hits, we shouldn't have many flu cases, right? 90% of Americans are wearing masks. So that should also come back or eradicate many people catching the flu, don't you think? But no, they're still predicting we're going to have high flu numbers. What's the difference between the flu and this virus? Both of them are airborne. In 1918, they were wearing masks. They said that was to prevent the spread of the Spanish flu. So what's the difference between the 1918 flu pandemic that people wore masks to as an effective method to prevent the Spanish flu? So why wouldn't it prevent the flu here or flu season in 2020? These are just common sense questions to me, but I don't know, to some people, it's, they don't, they don't register in their brain, right? The thing between the two ears, they have a complaint, right? A problem for every solution, rather. So let's do some history here. I can show you. They did this in 1918. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. So not only should we have less virus cases or less Rona cases, we should have less flu cases, right? When mask wearing rules in 1918 pandemic faced resistance, they faced resistance then. Or they poke holes in their mask to smoke. What is healthy? A person that takes a mask off at Walmart or wherever they work? I'm not going to discriminate at Walmart, but I have seen people outside of Walmart lower their mask, employees, to smoke This people, what's going to hurt you more, the cigarette or the virus, right? I mean, this was 1918, 1919. They said it was the most deadly flu outbreak in history. Listen, killing up to 50 million people worldwide, right? In the United States, it killed over 675,000. Local governments rolled out incentives to try to stop the spread, including, what does it sound like, people? Closing schools and places of public amusement, enforcing or encouraging people to use handkerchiefs or disposable tissues and require people to wear masks in public. Nothing's changed, right? And this, um, the ordinance mainly popped up from Western states, right? They were fighting World War One, and this led into the biggest Great Depression that there was. Nothing, the Bible, Ecclesiastes says, nothing new under the sun, right? Okay, Gigi said that's true. I have two friends and cousins that are nurses. They just piled a swab out and stuck it back. Right. I'm telling you, people in the medical field are telling you this, right? I hate to hear that. My condolences to your brother-in-law. But easy, if I ask you the question, did he have previous health conditions? I'm pretty sure you would tell me yes, right? Anybody that tell me they had people, my condolences are to you. But I'm pretty sure if I ask you did they have any previous health conditions, your answer would be yes. And my answer is still people with weak immunities, obesity, asthma, diabetes, high blood pressure. When you mix it with radiation, their body, right, with radiation, then that's what's going to happen. My condolences are to you. But I would still ask the question, did they have any previous health condition before this 5G Wi-Fi rolled out? Right, that most people wear a cloth mask, which is really going to affect their immunities, especially going into October, where we will have flu season, because they are limiting their oxygen and respiratory, which will definitely give you symptoms that they are stating as like this virus-like symptoms, right? Breathing, recycling in your own bacteria, right? As well as limiting your amount of oxygen. So if you were to wear a mask, then the ones that the doctors wear for hours during surgery would be the most, I think, efficient ones or better ones to wear, because in that case, then at least you are getting more oxygen in, which is God's way of providing a healthy and healing body to all. So again, usually the people that are diagnosing as deaf already have pre-existing or unhealthy health habits and condition. So let's talk about the next topic. I didn't even mean to get on that. Workers who will not be able to opt out of the payroll tax referral, and how they know that they would the higher or lower their check will be in 2021. Look, medical experts can say whatever. You can't save people once they already had bad health and you mix it with bad radiation, right? 5G is a military brand Wi-Fi that was only used for military defense because it was so strong. Everything is on Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. What about, better health? What about that? What about obesity? What about exercise? And what about building your cardiovascular system, right? Exactly, trading options. Exactly. Thank you. People, let's put on our thinking caps tonight. I'm not going to be on long. Didn't even really want to get into this subject, right? Right. So share this with you. There's some people I'm going to block from my live stream because they vex my spirit. And you have to dominate your distractions. You know that you have to be careful of allowing toxic people to vex your spirit. I'm not going to convince anybody or anything. I'm going to educate you and ask you to open up your brain and stop listening, watching television, right? Because if you break down the word television, it has the word lie in it. And start reading and researching for yourself. These workers won't be able to opt out of the payroll tax deferral. September 1st marked the first day of the payroll tax deferral, a temporary suspension now of the 6.2 tax employees, or 6.2% tax employees pay towards Social Security. It's in effect, right, through the end of the year. Not all employers will participate, but the federal government people, including military, is in, which means they cannot opt out, right? Lawmakers are calling on Treasury Secretary Mnuchin to allow federal employees and service members to opt out. Employees who are participating in the tax holiday can expect larger checks this fall, but check this out. Their take-home pay will decline in early 2021 as the IRS have to recoup, right, their deferred taxes. So what do you do if you can't opt out, right? This is a problem. I have a solution for you. So private companies decided, or they still decided, how to proceed with this payroll tax holiday. One major employer has decided that it's in the federal government. Again, it's a temporary suspension that tax employees pay towards their Social Security, and it's going to be effective until December 31st at the end of the year. However, it only applies to individuals who earn no more than $4,000 per biweekly pay period. So that's $8,000 monthly, right? They earn no more than that. It qualifies for them. It's not forgiveness, right? So the participating employees would enjoy that 6.2% of their take-home pay for the remainder of the year, but the tax deferral will have to be recouped or repaid from their paychecks. Now check this out. Along with their ongoing FICA taxes, right? And the first few months of 2021. So this is what the paychecks will look like in 2021. They generally will receive 6.2% more now, right? But check this out. Then 12.4% less for January through April. And I've been telling you all that January through April is just to help. It's just the 4 months that you work to pay the IRS, right? Your biggest stealer is wealth, right? No problem, Jesus. I really appreciate that. No problem. So the biggest stealer is wealth. I'm really just focused now on what I'm talking about. So I do appreciate you blocking, Jesus. And your biggest stealer of wealth is taxes. A third of your paycheck, right, goes to taxes, the IRS, and another third of your paycheck goes to debt, 2/3. So from January to April, and Jesus brought this point out, that's why your deadline to file for your income tax is April the 15th, because you're working to pay back the government, right? You're working to pay back the government. Only 8 months of your paycheck goes to you, and then you spend the other 4 months, right, paying back debts, especially if you have bad credit, or you're not using your credit to invest. So then you only have 4 months worth of paycheck, And then inflation, the rise in prices of everyday prices take the other 4 months or the other third. And then you have what's capitalism that takes the rest. So what's capitalism? Capitalism is what every month of the year is designed by big businesses, right? That's why Target didn't close, Lowe's, Walmart did not close during this pandemic, right? It's designed to take your money, right? In January, got to celebrate New Year's, right? February is Heart Month, right? Valentine's, people go out and spend money on Valentine's because they don't understand capitalism. Then March come along and spring break. We got to take vacations, right? We got to have that social media lifestyle. We got to post pictures of the family on vacation, right? And then in April, I haven't taught on capitalism in a while. What goes on in April? You all help me with April. April, what goes on in April? Jesus says he's not about that 1/3 life. Easter, you got Easter. Then you have in May, it's graduation going on. You got to spend money on graduation. And then in April, you also have Mother's Day. June, you have Father's Day, right? It keeps recycling, repeating. July, right? 4th of July, people got to celebrate the 4th, barbecue and beer. Red, white, and blue. All right. Yeah, I think I said spring break for March, Curtis. And then in August, what it goes on in August? Back to school shopping, right? Back to school shopping. Then we have September. September, we just celebrated Labor Day, right? People got to go back with the barbecue and beer and seafood. And, let's spend money. It's Labor Day. And then October, right? Halloween, got to buy those costumes. Let's got to trick or treat, buy the candy up. And then November is Thanksgiving and December is Christmas. And it recycles and repeat. And people stay in that cycle. And that's where another third of your paycheck goes to the systematic plans to make big businesses richer, right? Okay, thank you, Mark. He says then we have St. Patrick's Day or St. Patty Days in March. And until you're educated, right, then you buy into this and you become a product of capitalism as well, right? So V. Mello says, if you ask for a credit increase, does the hard inquiry hurt you? Is it safe to apply for other credit cards? I would ask if you're asking for a credit increase, if it would be a hard or soft pull on your credit report, right? I would ask if it would be a hard or soft pull. Let me see. I just saw something on it today. And then I'm logging off because you all, I'm fatigued. This has been a credit day. Just wanted to come before you. Real quick to give you those updates. But I just saw a chart and yeah, here we go. That can help you with that. And I answer that one credit question. And I'm signing off. I'm logging off. You're right, Gigi. Every month is designed to get money out of you, right? Every month is designed to get your money until you become educated and informed and learn the game. So let's make it smaller, not bigger. Hold on, I'm trying to blow this up. Yeah, it's not helping. Give me 1 second. People, and if you're going to use credit cards right now, make sure you get cashback rewards, credit cards, cashback reward, credit cards, and you use your credit cards for your essential purchases, your essential bills, right? Essential bills. I can't find anymore. Long gone are the days, right, of using credit cards to vacation, to buy name brand clothing, shoes, and name brand clothing, shoes. In other words, liability, right? It's time out for using credit cards for that. Those days are over with, people. We are in an economic recession. Just want to share this with you as well. Gold and silver are money. Everything else is credit. That includes cash. This includes cash, right? Cash is credit. Cash is an asset. It's just a very low yielding asset because as prices increase, your dollar purchasing power uh, decreases, right? And it loses its purchasing power. So the best thing to do with cash is to convert it into real assets, right? Convert it into real assets. I can't even find it. Hold on. I can't find that chart anymore. I just had it up. But the chart gave information on um, who did a hard pull, soft pull on your credit report. So if I can't find that chart, I will say this: before you ask for a credit limit increase, I just had to, oh, here it go. Please ask, inquire if it will be a hard pull or a soft pull on your credit report, right? A hard or soft pull on your credit report. Now I had it up. I think my internet is slowing up. Must not be meant for me to show. I tried, but just rule of thumb, try one more time, so you can know who does hard pull, soft pull. Hello, Mr. Mentor, glad to have you in. And just know the reason why you need to know this is because a hard pull could drop your credit score from 3 to 7 points, right? 3 to 7 points. So you need all the points you can get on your credit, right? More says keep trying. Good to see you, Mr. Mentor, as well. Exactly, Curtis. The cycle has shifted. Cycle has shifted. Let's see, can I find it as well? Wrong time for, yeah, buy cars, shoes, clothes. I mean, you're buying new cars. Not too many places can travel, but um, hey, maybe some people want to bust a block in their new car, right? But if you have something dependable, or if you just find it at a great rate, a discounted price, then go ahead and do that. It's not coming up, you all. It just keeps saying the page is not loaded. Let me see if I can save this image and pull it up. Okay, let me see if I can do it this way. Not sure if it's going to share, but I will try. I will try. Car sales is up. Real estate hasn't really took a dip yet. Let me see, can I post it on my personal page and then I can share with you all on my Facebook, because it's just not really allowing me to do that. So I tried to show you all the companies that do a hard pull, a soft pull on your credit report. For some reason, it's not allowing me to pull it up. And try one more time. All right, let me post it on my personal page and I'll bring it up. Okay, it's just posted, so let's try it this way. All right, so here we go. More said, thanks for my efforts. So I don't know how well you all can see this. Try to blow it up. But you can see it says Amex, there's a South Pool. So just make sure you call and verify this information for yourself, right? Chase will do a hard pull. And sorry, I can't really blow it up any bigger than this. But with Amex, it says wait 91 days before asking. A hard pull will be done for people who have fraud alerts. So if you have a fraud alert, it will be a hard pull on your credit report. So wait. It also says wait 61 days that the account is new and wait 181 days for other accounts, right? That's for Amex. With Chase, a hard pull. Um, it varies by the longevity in the account status. You can do multiple increases the same day with Chase. It will be a hard pull, however. Um, and recommend that you increases 4 to 6 months with new accounts. With Barclays, it's a hard pull. They're pretty generous about 3 to 6 months, automatically increasing your credit limit or credit line. If you get denied, you can request again and the month passes, but it will result in another hard pull. Discover does a soft pull. Again, please do your due diligence, and when you call, inquire this about yourself. Bank of America South Pool, right? It's recommended that you wait 6 months for Discover and Bank of America, and you have a choice with Discover to accept or deny the increase. With Bank of America, you can request a credit limit increase by phone if you feel like that will give you a better chance. City card. Some people get soft pulls, some people get hard pulls. So and ask. With me, I got a city limit increase city card, and it was a soft pull for me, right? Personally. So they will review your file every 6 months with a soft pull to see if you're eligible for an automatic credit limit increase. U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, Capital One is all showing soft pull, right? It's best not to make these requests until 6 months with these three. But however, U.S. Bank, 181 days after your account is open is best. And Capital One, once every 6 months. And then we have Navy Federal, right? The best thing to wait for Navy Federal as well. It's 181 days, right? It's 6 months. And they have their own internal scoring system. So I hope that helped you all out. But again, always do your due diligence, meaning that you ask beforehand, you inquire beforehand, right, with the person that you are speaking with, a customer service. Will it be a hard pull or a soft pull for you, right? So I always do your due diligence, but that's just a chart to kind of help you along the way. Wow, Gigi said she had a fraud alert. And then it took her credit down 30 points. Yes, keep your immune system up. You're welcome. Why would anyone other than large family opt out of payroll tax? Because they don't want 12.4% of their paycheck being double taken out beginning January through April of 2021, which will happen. So you'll save 6.2% until December of this year, right? And then January through April 2021 is going to double up. Your paycheck will be 12.4%. So you're going to lose that percentage, double that percentage. Aaron says, I am a nurse. Yes, take zinc, vitamin C, and D. Correct, Aaron. Absolutely correct. Yes, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Exactly. Oh, Lord, it's such refreshing to have someone who's from the medical field on. Thank you for joining in. Thank you so much. Right. You know what? This quote unquote virus really discriminates, doesn't it? The flu doesn't discriminate. The flu gets children, adults. This virus, hits an age group at one time, 18 to 29, certain age group. And like I said, if I have to step through the door of a restaurant and wear a mask, right? But I can sit in there for 30 minutes alone without one. Or if I have to wear a mask for my job, but then I can leave the job without one and then come back to the job the next day with one. I still can, I don't know. So, but I do get the fear of people who just watch television and they don't do their own due diligence, right? Same thing happened in 1918, 1919, right? History doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes, right? It often rhymes. I take magnesium just for my stress, nervous health, digestive system. Don't know if it really helps with radiation, but I do that. So thank you all. You all have a great night. Make sure you subscribe to my channel on YouTube because you never know when the Queen of Credit will pop up on your YouTube notification is going live. So here's to your peace and prosperity, your credit and your cash flow, and people, your health and your wealth. Queen of Credit out. You all have a great night. And thanks for tuning in.